Hello, Hunter here. 3 things wish knew when just learning how to draw. Quick little tips if you're just getting started and you're within your first year of drawing. One, don't read art books. Don't do it. Don't do it. Been you before, know where you're at. You're looking at a whole bunch of art books, finding art that you absolutely love, and you're looking at it and you're trying to copy it and you're getting all into it and you're getting totally into an artist for a couple of months and you're trying to recreate their stuff in your little spiral notebook. That's great. That's beautiful. Don't start reading the stuff about the artist, at least not too much. A little bit here and there if you want to know how to say their name correctly or where they were from or maybe some of the circumstances or who commissioned what, great. But don't start reading 20-word sentences that some art historian wrote about them for hours and hours and hours and think that's going to help you be able to do what you're trying to do. It is not. All right? Especially, don't get deep into this stuff about this style of art and that style of art and this is post whatever, blah, 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 and this has this meaning of that for hours and hours and hours. Don't do that to yourself. It is a total waste of your time if you're trying to become a proficient artist. What you are learning how to do is beyond words. It is above words and understanding. It is meant to be emotionally relevant. Like, look at the drawing that is in progress, that I was just working on right now, right? You could say, oh, okay, it's a skull. There's a man holding a woman's skull and it has roses. Maybe it has something to do with mortality. Maybe it has something to do with memory or plant life. Like, who knows, right? A little bit of intellectualization is okay. But you want a little bit to be a result of the emotional reaction, and you never want it to be definitive. This is about that, this, and it's got to be about that. You want to be able to let your viewer have some of their own meaning in your artwork as well. So let's put it this way. If you have to read paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs on a piece of art to understand that piece of art, it is not a piece of art. All right? It's a piece of assisted literature. Okay? Now, books about how to draw or how to do art, there are a few here and there that are worthwhile. Did a short on, one of my favorite ones, but that's on this channel. There are many others on other channels. Right off the top of my head, The Natural Way to Draw is a good one. Draw by Jeffrey Camp has some neat ideas if you're just starting out. Which brings me to another point. Basically what he's saying is draw things in real life. Don't get too hung up on drawing things from photographs. It's very tempting, especially if you don't have subjects around you for portraits. It's tempting to spend time drawing from photographs, and there might be a time in your life where you want to do that. If you get into hyper-realism or you're at a later stage and you're trying to look at different kind of facial features or, there are reasons to do that, but when you're just starting out, your first year drawing, don't get too hung up in drawing from photographs. You want to go out into the real world, the non-screen, non-photograph world, and learn how to draw things. And that's very important because you need to be able to take the representation in the 3D world, or we'll leave it there right now, in the 3D world, and you want to be able to take that and make it flat, make it 2D. And the only way you're going to do that is to draw things in life. As you go on, books about materials will become very helpful. By the way, don't draw in newsprint. it's gonna like disintegrate. Um, if you are lucky enough to have access to something like Arches rag watercolor paper, rag meaning it's made out of cloth instead of pulp paper, that's great. If you don't have access to that, it's not the end of the world. At least get paper that says it's acid free. Um, and don't store it in cardboard. Don't store it in newsprint. Don't store it for long periods of time with anything that has an acid base that's going to eat it up. Or what's going to happen is you're going to store them in a drawer and they're going to get eaten away over time. And you don't want that. You want to be able to look back on your work sometimes. Don't photograph every little thing. Don't waste your time photographing everything unless you really are somebody who doesn't want to lose the image ever. But if you can photograph, and chances are you have a phone because you're watching this, you do want to take pictures of things maybe every month or so, just to kind of have a record or your favorite stuff. Yeah, that turned into more of a rant than expected. But whatever you do, stay away from the how to draw a specific object book. Object books. Stay away from those. How to draw dragons. How to draw cats. Even how to draw people. Because that's a hurdle for people just starting out. But they might have a little bit of like good advice here and there, but you don't want to get, when you're just starting out, into a methodical way of doing things, and you don't want to draw just one thing. You have to learn how to draw any object around you. That's the best way to go during your first few years, because then as you go on, you'll be able to draw from that, no pun intended ever, and work on whatever you want to work on in the future. Yeah. Wrote these down. Oh, 2, take care of your eyes. When you're first starting out, you tend to have like a little sketchbook and you're sitting right in front of it and you're like drawing on it, and maybe it's really small because you're just starting out and you're insecure, and if people walk by you want to like cover it up. Okay, a couple of things you can do. That's going to be very hard on your eyes, and before you know it, you have to wear glasses, and then down the road you have migraines that cause you to be so photosensitive you have to like put a curtain up when the light gets to a certain intensity so that you look like a ghost when you're going to put something up on YouTube, which could down the road end up turning into migraines and like a whole bunch of things. 2 things you can do: step back if you're, especially work on something larger every once in a while, and step back. That's also going to help out your art, because people who are going to look at it eventually aren't going to be looking at it from like right up here, unless maybe you're taking a photo of it. I'm not saying never do that, but spend some time, tack something up to a wall, just use like the edges of the tack so it doesn't go through your work, and like step back every once in a while. That will help you both with your eyes and becoming better at art. Also, one of the best tips I got this from an art teacher in high school. She said, look, every once in a while, after a couple of hours, go outside and look into the distance. Look at the horizon, look at a tree very far away. Make your eyes focus on something in the distance. These eyes would have been better than 20/20 vision, except they made themselves myopic in childhood, sitting close to things drawing. It will actually bend the way your eyes see. And you could lose capacity with your vision up close just from doing that too much. So every once in a while, every couple of hours, you want to stop. You want to look very far away and allow your vision to see things far away. Wish I had been told that before high school, but it is what it is. And the oven just stopped. Thank you, oven. You might even want to just shut your eyes once in a while. If you're doing, a full day's work, just shut them. And remember, it's all additive. If you're looking at a lot of art on a screen, or you're watching a movie on a screen on top of that, and it's close, it's a phone, it's close, and that light is going into your eyes, that's going to add to that effect even more. One more thing. This turned out to be longer than expected. This one is actually about the art. Not everything that you draw has to make sense. When people start drawing, especially you see this with kids, everything has to make sense. Like a door has to have a doorknob. A sun has to have like little rays on it. And that's really cute when kids are drawing it. But as you go into art, more and more, when you're thinking about composition or you're doing a whole drawing, you might have the urge to put like a spot here or a spot here, and you don't know why. You couldn't say in words why you want it there. And then you start thinking, oh, what's this going to be? Does it have to be this? This kind of the same way a kid has to put a knob on the doorknob. You don't have to worry about what it is. You don't have to worry about if it makes sense symbolically. You might learn how to add that later as time goes on. But also think about the composition. If something has to be in a spot, just put it in the spot and don't worry about it when you're just starting out. You'll figure out that stuff later if you even want to have it make sense. So that turned out to be longer than expected. That was my caffeinated rant of things, wish I'd been told the first year or two of learning how to do art. So hope that helped. Thank you.